you're here obviously representing Carlworth as well.
Right.
We know you play Carlworth saxes.
Right, for years, for 15 years or so.
How did you come across a Carlworth and just found that sound suited Ernie Watts at the time, or what happened there?
I was playing another manufacturer's instrument, and what would happen would be I would go out on a tour for 3 weeks or so, and I'd come back home and I'd have to put the instrument in the shop because it would vibrate out of adjustment. Because the gauge of the tube, the gauge of the metal was thin, the instrument just vibrated out. It would vibrate out of adjustment. So a friend of mine, a person asked me to try a Carlworth and see how I felt about that and see what I thought about that. So I tried it and I liked the way it played and I started using it, and I noticed that it didn't rattle, it didn't go out of adjustment. You know, it was a very, very well-made instrument, a very, very consistent instrument, and so I got really involved with playing it.
And that durability of the instrument is so vital if you are out in Europe for 2
Right.
months or
Exactly.
wherever it may be.
Exactly.
And the sound, you know, did you find something in the sound there that was interesting and different?
Well, it was a broader sound. It was a deeper sound because it was a little bit bigger instrument. You know, the way the configuration of the way the bell is and the bow on the bottom of the bell, it's a darker playing instrument. It's a heavier, physically heavier instrument because there's more metal.
Yeah.
You know, there's more material in it.
And that reflects in the sound and
right, and that reflects in the
expression.
sound. You know, it's like vibration, right? If you're playing an instrument that's light and it's thin, then the metal is going to vibrate faster than an instrument that's thicker and heavier. It's just going to vibrate at a different velocity. So it gets a bit darker sound, and it gets a bit more solid sound. Yeah.
Tone and color of tone is very important to sax players. You know, we all talk about it, we all think about it. We try mouthpieces, we try different saxes. What would you say, just as an advice, really, to younger guys maybe who are playing? You know, they're concentrating on their improvisation as well. What are good technique things you could do to improve your tone? Maybe in, say, the warm-up or you know, practices to do to help with that?
I think for sound, for me, the thing that I worked on most was just playing melodies, playing melodically, playing ballads, working on the relationship of one note to another. You know, I did a lot of record dates. I did a lot of quote-unquote commercial records, you know, R&B records, all kinds of things for Motown and different companies like that. And the basic thing with doing pop music and commercial music is when you have a solo, it's within an idiom of music, and there aren't a whole lot of things you can do harmonically to divert from that idiom of music, or it's not going to be that. You know, it's not going to be R&B if you play a Charlie Parker solo. So the harmony is of simpler harmonic form with a lot of pop music. So you find that if you're going to establish a sound, if you're going to create an individuality for yourself within a music idiom, it is more dependent upon your particular individual tone, on the way you play one note, or the way you play between, the way you play a third, or the way you play a fourth. Things that you do with sound are more important than things that you do with harmony. Because unless you're playing evolved jazz things, the things that are a bit more evolved harmonically, pop music and the commercial music don't have the harmonic substance to do a whole lot of creative things.
Is that less satisfying then as an artist? I mean, I know you've recorded all sorts, as you say, commercial, jazz, you know, you name it. Is that less satisfying to do those pop dates, if you will, because you have those limits, you know, put on you by the music? Or is there still fun musically to be had there?
I think at a certain time in your life, it's fun. You know, our life has chapters, At a certain time in your life, it's fun. At a certain time of your life, it's really good and it's cool to be busy and to be working on all these things and to be playing on pop records and hit records and people calling you and wanting you to do that. And then after a certain period of time, you want to go on with your music. And the more, it seems, the more you evolve as a musician, the more you learn and the deeper your harmony gets and the more involved you get in your playing, the more selective you get about the environments that you want to be in. And you kind of change from one idiom or one area to another. But the things I learned from playing pop music and playing with blues groups and doing all of those things, the things I learned from that, I brought with me. You bring it with you, but you continue to evolve. You continue to add on to that, and it continues to become more and more subtle.
So again, it goes back to it being an education, you know, from start all the way through. That never ends.
It never ends.
No.
And you're continuing constantly to evolve. You're continuing constantly to grow.
So again, for people maybe watching this who are aspiring Ernie Wattses and you know, who's listening to a whole different spectrum of music is equally important as practicing, and
it's all a part of it. Yeah, listening to a lot of people playing the instrument that you're working on. You know, if you're playing saxophone, if you're playing alto or tenor saxophone, listen to a lot of people that play your instrument. What happens after a while is you'll find one or two people that you really love, that you really like what they do. Then you focus on that and you listen to those particular people a lot. After that, you come to a point where you understand what they do, you see what they've been working on, you've played transcriptions of their solos and whatever, and then you become yourself. Then you're by yourself. You know, you understand what this guy did, you understand what this guy did, you understand what this guy did, then you say to yourself, okay, well, how do I feel about this? Who am I within all of this? And then from that point on, you know, you begin to develop and evolve as yourself. And it all takes time. It's a lifetime, you know, it's not something you do in 3 weeks.
no.
You know, you don't get 2 Jamie Abersol records and practice for 3 weeks and do it.
There is
It
maybe
goes on forever.
a danger of that, isn't there, in modern society where things have become more, you know...
Well, you know, we're living in an immediate gratification society. And people are, you know, if they can't get results in 3 weeks, then they're going on to something else.
The oboe.
And music is a lifestyle. You know, music
Sure.
is a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, and it's something that you do the rest of your life. If you love it. If you don't love it, you do something else.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, on that note, Ernie, it sounds like I need to go and do some practice. I would like to thank you very, very much. It's been fantastic meeting you and spending some time with you. I really look forward to tonight. The gig should be fantastic.
Yeah, it should be fun.
And yeah, thanks once again. Nice to see you.
Okay.
Cheers.